The lead here at the 150, trying hard as Heat Missile, but Philly is well clear, 2 lengths in front. Panito's running home well, Meridiano the outside, but it's all Philly, and Philly is one.
Welcome to Bet Doctor, Brisvegas version. I'm your host, Scoot. This show is proudly brought to you by Racing Queensland and Punting Form. John Walters in studio in the Gold Coast with me, and we're off to a flyer.
We're off to a flyer. It's good to have GK back. He's refreshed. You know, he had that 1 week on, 1 week off. He's our, what do they call it? FIFO, our FIFO worker at the moment. He's off to the Maldives next week. He's claimed already, so he's obviously thinking he's going to get the lot this week.
Bulla GK, what was it? The coconut margaritas or the pina coladas? What are you tipping?
It was pretty much everything. Everything I could get my hands on from 9 a.m. I was shoving down my throat. So, yeah, it was good to get away before the real serious stuff really kicks off for the carnival.
Just the Liverpool hat gets another run.
Actually, did they abandon last week?
What's that?
Saturday.
Where?
It was?
Where?
Brisbane. Was it on or off last week?
No, it's not. Weird, isn't it?
Did we get a result? Oh, no, we did. You left all my things off the sheet. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, we'll go through last week's winners because we still tipped a couple of winners while GK was away. So Donnie found Filia and Dragon Rouge. You found Tenzing.
Bless its heart.
Yeah, Filia was tipped by a couple of us, actually. Benadryl for me over in Adelaide. Legacy Bound for Nico and Benadryl. And what else did I miss of yours?
Benadryl. No, that was it. Filia and Tenzing were mine, the results.
Yeah, Tenzing was a good one. Just scooted up.
Filia's a nice horse, strong as an ox, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, D Van Dyke.
I was screaming at Tenzing, like, well, where are you going? Watching it from the 600, just kept putting the right-hand blinker on collet style. I was like, oh, no, this is going to be a train wreck. But
you're starting to like it, aren't you?
Got away with it. Oh, it's just such a... These track up here. Well, they got a 7-metre rail. I saw one of these feature races we got on Saturday is a 10 runner limit. It's a very weird one. But
they're just trying their best to get through. Like, out of nowhere, we got a massive deluge of rain at the Gold Coast.
It hasn't rained here this year. The goddamn cyclone that never happened and nothing else. Like, it's crazy. All you people, I literally haven't had an umbrella out since, I think, 2000, maybe 8.
Waltz off his head. 2 weeks ago, we played golf up at Sanctuary Cove and it bucketed down the day before and there's no one on the course because it was carts on pass only. So he's telling pork pies. GK, last night, did you get any rain up in Brisvegas?
None. So looking like relatively clear weather.
Well, there you go.
They'll water it. There's no greater certainty than they'll water it.
There's a little bit of a sprinkle around, but it's not a deluge at this stage. So there's going to be rain around, but I'm expecting a good fall and the rail's out. So we'll ask GK in a minute how the track will play. But Hawksbury, they're going to get a sprinkle?
I hope so, because then they'll be off.
So I think we've aborted the meeting there. And then Adelaide's going to be a road of sorts. So I think it'll be nearly a good 3 there in Adelaide. So a bit of a shake-up in Adelaide. They lost their caller in the middle of the carnival. So that's big news across Sky. There's
great caller too.
A huge amount of axings.
Yeah, he makes no sense. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't have think that getting a better level caller than he is to Adelaide would be easy. Yeah. He seemed to do a good job. All right. Mate, it's Adelaide.
Misses
what are you going to do? You've got Camel coming after Camel. You try and call him. It's to be like everyone bags Cole Hodges, not me ever. And, he's calling benchmark 58s all day. It's not an easy job.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. And Josh Fleming from
good caller.
Queensland. Yeah,
great caller. The dog guy, very enthusiastic, good caller. Was it Matt Jackson?
Matt Jackson.
Good. Yeah. So I don't know. There's obviously more to it.
They'll be clearing a lot of... long service
stuff.
Leave. Yeah.
Really?
I'd say so. Jared Daffy.
Do you think Gill will get the long service? I don't.
Ooh.
Don't think you'll get the long service.
There's a couple of popular people getting around, and he's struggling at the moment. I'd say from all my sources inside the big green giant. But we'll push on to today's show. Eagle Farm, we're going to do race 2 plus the quaddy legs 5, 6, 7, 8. We're a Queensland racing show after all, thanks to RQ. And then I'm going to have a look at the SA Derby. That is a real tricky one, and the Port Adelaide Guineas looks a decent sort of race there. A little bit surprised that a horse like Sabage didn't go there, but gee, he went good in the Tobin Bronze last week, didn't he? Got 1,600 back to 1,200. What a horse it is.
Yeah, very good. Wish he was a little bit better. Would have been very handy.
Wow.
But, he's just strong bugger, that's for sure.
Very true.
Very even races. There's a couple of even races.
Puntingform.com.au is how I do all my forms, so I can tiptoe between Eagle Farm, Adelaide, Caulfield, Warrnambool, anywhere. So if you want to get deeper into your form, make sure you check out puntingform.com.au. and they've got a good black book system there as well. So all the sectional times and data is there. GK, we mentioned it's going to be a good track, rail out. How do you see it?
Yeah, look, I'd say it'll be a 4, maybe a little bit of give early, and just depending on, whether we get a sprinkle late, it could dry out. 7-meter rail is interesting. It's not one that they often use, but they've used it for this meeting each year previously. So there's a few clues there. Look, I think it'll probably play relatively fair and should primarily be tempo, which sort of dictates these races. There's a meeting, I think it was 22nd of March, where they had a 6.5-meter rail. The track's pretty firm, but that played a little bit on speed. I thought it looked to be harder to make ground as the day went on, but the track was pretty firm then. So, look, with a little bit more give, I'm hoping that it plays relatively fair, but I do think with the rail out this far, that barriers are more important than they usually are at Eagle Farm. So, I generally want to be forward of midfield and, drawn well.
All right, let's have a look at race 2. That's the first one we're going to get our teeth stuck into. You found one here, GK. Nova 106.9, benchmark 78 over 1200, and Floozy is $2.10 favourite. Dreamland $6, Fielder Myrtle 10, Hermanita $11, On Point 13, Heroic Miss $14, Fearless Thinking 14, 16 Yendian, much better the rest. Floozy is the one you like here. It's in the dark green with the yellow sleeves, just working to the outside of the other horse in the green here. Under a bit of a hold here.
Oh yeah, this was a really good win. Look at a trial well before this, and look, there was an interesting race. There was a few horses that have been going pretty well leading up to that. Look, I thought Ange just rode it perfectly there. Looks to get a perfect draw here again. We'll just suck up behind the speed, and there's not a lot of guts to this race. I just think that if Floozy holds its form, it's going to win again. And look, we know with Golan runners that they generally improve into a prep. So if it does improve off the back of that, look, I think it's very hard to beat. Like, I've marked this odds on. I think black odds are good odds.
Went to a brand new peak, so he's definitely unlocked this ex-Victorian. Did you have a squiz at it, Walt?
I did. I couldn't find anything to beat it, which is obviously the first thing I tried to do. So, yeah, it's about a tick. Not my sort of race, but it looks very, very hard to beat.
Nice one. I think it was Navy Pilot last time you were on the show, GK, and so this looks like a good multi-starter for the day to couple up with a couple of horses or end with a couple in the lead up to Saturday's meeting, however you want to play that one. But I'd tend to agree. It looked pretty strong, that win, and it'd have to come off its rating significantly to get beaten there. Race 6 is the next one. It's the Darello over 1,000 metres here. It's a listed event. Talk to be sure is a favourite. $4, Amosu $4.20, Cool Archie $5.50, Darn Hot Lady $6, and then you've got Get Ready Lass $10, Earn to Burn $11, $12, Gobi Desert, and Lockett $12, $16 or better the rest. A couple horses we're going to have a look at here, and Talk to be sure is the trialer. It's in the purple, in the middle of horses, and this horse was quite good at the Sunshine Coast, was pretty new to it all, behind Quietly Arrogant, and that sort of form stuck up. But he's a nice type, this horse.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, had a bit of a spruik on it last prep, was really good first up at the Gold Coast on a day when it was actually quite hard to make ground and loop them, and I think it should have won that race at the Gold Coast, then went to the Sunshine Coast, super green. Started odds on that day. Look, it obviously has a few tricks and a few quirks, but I think this horse has a fair bit of ability. My only query was whether 1,000 meter is really, its distance moving forward. Maybe it's more of a 6 furlong horse, but I think it has a motor, and I think some of the others in this race have benefited from pretty biased tracks, the debut form in particular. I think that form is overrated, and I'm pretty happy to attack it here with Talk to be sure.
The other horse we're going to have a look at here is Cool Archie, and this is a weird setup. It's 1,200 metres back to 1,000 here, but here he is in the green with the red and white, I guess, racing stripes with his cap, and nice little win here. And I'm not sure with the placement here, GK. Like, I think the meetings got transferred. Was the stable just desperate to get a run into it? It seems like a bit of an afterthought, this race.
So I have thought this previously, but this is a bit of a Muncie trick. Sometimes he likes to do this where he'll go 1,200 and then he'll drop back to 1,000. He's done it with horses like Paylight in the past. It's an unusual way to approach these types of races, but it has worked for him in the past. I think this is the danger. I think it's improved off the back of that little break, and it trialled well before that win. And look, I think it looks like a horse that over time is going to look for 1,200, maybe 1,400. But look, it's fit. It's coming into this race with a good win. Looks like it's improved, so I think it's a real danger.
I expect him at 80s or 100s in the Magic Million. So I've always had a big opinion of the horse myself, but the setup looks pretty icky for me. The other horse that you got me to add, Walt, was Get Ready Lass, and here it is in the white with the lime green hat, big baldy face on the outside.
Pulled itself into the ground here, just a terrible ride.
Yeah, and then I think Donny's horse just gets around it here, Dragon Rouge.
Yeah, no, it was just a horrific ride. It's just a jump and run horse that was strangled to death. It was just complete insanity, and it sort of kicked away and only just got beaten. And as you said, Dragon Rouge come out and won since. So form looks all right. It needs to draw them wide. Surely it takes away their decisions. That's it. Just drop the hammer, give it the full cold trickle, and it'll and it's the one to run down, I think. But I just agreeing. Talk to be sure. Still can't work out whether Nash was dead on it that day or not, or the horse was it was tricky. But I thought the $1 thing was to be gelded, and they haven't done that. So maybe settle down. If he has, I think he's far and away the best potential horse in the race. And Cool Archie has just been destroyed nearly every start it's ever had. That jockey just absolutely he carved it the other day, and he'll probably carve it again on Saturday, which might help it because it probably needs to be carved to win over 1,000. But I agree. Talk to be sure, Cool Archie, and Get Ready Lass if they drop the hammers, the one to run down.
What do you think with Talk to be sure? Is he a 1,400, 1,600 metre horse in time?
Don't know. He's got a bit of a flat spot, but I think so whether he's thinking or not, because he's so strong at the end. And then the other day they sort of squeezed him up in that trial. He responded, but he didn't sort of sprint sharp. And then through the line, he was just cruising away from him. So I don't think he's a 1,000-metre horse either, but he might just be too good. But it's a race where you'd rather Nash on and a bit of commitment, whereas Mallion might, if he's a little bit shy on it early, he could easily set it too big a task, especially with the rail out. This we've just talked about. This is the race where the rail's out so far, you can only run 10 runners, so it's definitely going to be a bit dicey. 1,000 metres for those, and even Get Ready Lass is probably going to have to be shot out of the cannon early to get across them.
Yeah, it's not a race that I've got high level of confidence, but it's definitely a watch and learn, because I think the three horses that have been mentioned have got a ton of ability, and it's a good way to start the quaddie with those three key chances. Race 7 is the next one, and this is a cracker too. It's the Group 2 Queensland Guineas, and I think it's one of the better renewals that I've seen in quite a while, with a couple of promising horses, but bit of there's a couple of queries here with some that have been in work quite a while, and then there's a few that are using this as a stepping stone run from the Derby, which adds more confusion to what should be an easier puzzle to work out. But Shangri-La Springs, the favourite here, Barra 11, Tim Clark, Gay Waterhouse, 460, Wonder Boy 480, Boomtown Boss into 650 now, Depth of Character with Noel Callow, $7, Bo Dazzler. Oh, sorry, I've jumped the gun there on the prices. Interjections, the next one, $13, 16 Tardelli, and Our Benefactor, 20, and then Imperialist is 27, and much, much better the rest. We're going to strap ourselves in for 4 replays here. That's the depth to the race. Boomtown Boss is the first one, GK, and nice little hat tip for you here. He's in the white with the blue stars and the blue cap on the fence. Probably the worst ground, but he did everything he said. He exploded here.
Yeah, look, this horse is just airborne. Just continues to develop. 2 sensational wins in the inferior ground, both time, very strong through the line, both starts this prep. Look, the mile is perhaps some query, but on what we've seen, looks like it's ready to go. We know it's a target race, which is, I think, significant here compared to a number of these which are using this as a stepping stone, and then others where it's looks like a bit of an afterthought. So, look, it's one of the runners that is best set up for this race. And look, they got it wrong early with double figures yet again.
Yeah, I quite like that run, and he's still green and still learning, so whether that's going to bring him unstuck, and I'm interested to see what Emily Lang does from 9. I probably would like to see him in the first 2 or 3 pairs, but he seems to be fast enough away, but they've been trying to get him to relax a little bit more, and he's got that devastating finish, and I guess he's proven wet or dry. So to me, as a type, and just looking at him, he'll eat up the 1600. And not many Spirited Booms completely love the 1600, but on his dam side, there's definitely, I think she won over 1600, and I think there's he's stout enough to get the mile. Let's talk about a couple of Sydney horses. The first one is Interjection. It's in the red with the white cap, the Finnemore colours, and it just has to sort of do a couple of sharp left-hand turns to get right around the field before it can really let down. And GK, I love the last 250 of this horse.
Yeah, look, this replay really got me in here. I just love the way it attacked the line. It was a bit of a messy race, I thought, this one. Like, there was a bit of interference and there were a few horses that were unlucky, but I just love the way it dropped on them late. And to me, just pointing to the fact it's ready to roll here at the mile. We've got previous runs at the mile. Look, I think this is a real threat, and I think it's over the odds.
$15 bet earlier, so now into 13. I didn't mind that, and it's gonna if they are running on, I think it's definitely a chance. I don't have any query over 1600. What are your thoughts? A mile for that horse. I know
the problem is it's going to be last again. That's its biggest problem, and have to circle them again. That's in a race where there's no leader. It was 1 leader, so that's the drama. And a lot of those horses, like you're saying, they're all drawn 8, 9, 10. They've got decisions, haven't they? Like even Wonderboy, Churchill, Boomtown Boss, Interjection. They're all drawn middle to wide, and they've got Shangri-La drawn outside them. So they've got an opportunity to try and get a bit closer, but whether they do or not is going to be important.
Here's Shangri-La Spring in the lead here. Timmy knows the horse. There's going to be no surprises here, but Barrier 11 is going to go straight to the front. Music to his ears, no lead.
Yeah, Timmy's the important thing about this is that he kind of learnt from the start before, where he thought he'd try and put him to the sword a bit earlier. Maybe the horse wasn't ready to do that number 1, or he thought it was a bit too 1 pace to be able to get away with that. And whereas here he sort of stacked him up a little bit and saved a bit more, and the horse was able to sort of sprint a bit sharper and sustain it a bit longer. And he definitely said it had sort of come on. So I think he learned a lot about the horse in its last 2 rides there, which probably allowed him to get away with that one.
Yeah, when I first did the race, I thought, well, this is the obvious horse that Boomtown Boss has to get past. But the talk of the Derby sort of cooled my boner for the horse. Our Benefactor's the other one that we're going to have a look at here, and we're sort of going back a little bit with Martin Harley out the back, giving this horse a fair sore back, but he sort of hangs in, and I guess he returns to the scene of the crime of his first up win over 1400, which he beat Rock the Sunrise, and then they really put him in the deep end here with this one. They went straight to the Guineas off that, and then they probably made an error and went even further to 2,000 metres, where I probably didn't see out the trip in the Rosehill Guineas, but that was a decent sort of effort. You can see depth of character just in beside him, and there's something about this horse. He's got something, hasn't he, Walt?
He does, and he's the ultimate opportunity horse here, as in trialled really well since, I thought, and he's got the draw where they've got to go right back or right forward, and hopefully they choose the right forward with that grounding. And he could easily just cruise across with Timmy, I think, and be very, very dangerous at 25-1.
Yeah. So how are you going to play, Shangri-La and Our Benefactor?
I'd probably rather just back Our Benefactor each way. I think Shangri-La's the right price. I agree. I think it's definitely the horse to beat, only because it's just going to be left in front, and Tim's just too good usually in those situations, and I can't really see anything that wants to press the tempo or do anything. They're just going to leave him alone. It's a really super strange race, and I just think Our Benefactor, if hopefully rolls forward, is just a big price, but I couldn't really. I agree with you, Boomtown Boss. I want a senior rider on it. Even there, you can see the horse stargazing lost. I think it'd improve out of sight with a strong rider, and if it was, I still think 10-1's wrong. I think you guys are right there, because it's just got such a good turn of foot. It could overcome a slow tempo if there is one. And but yeah, I think Our Benefactor is the big value.
Okay, so each way, our benefactor for Walt, Boomtown Boss, and Interjection for GK. I think the boys have landed on 3 value bets. I'm keen to take on Shangri-La Spring and the other shorties in the market, so definite aggressive play in the quaddie here. But yeah, don't really like depth of character. Not sure he beat much.
Wonder Boy didn't even get a mention. He's second favourite, isn't he? So that's
he's a dangerous horse, I agree, but I think he's just a little bit used up. I think he comes up here, 5th or 6th up.
He's got to run the mile too. That was a slow run, 1400 last start.
Well, it just seems like a crazy prep. Like he started in the Standish, he's been to Sydney, he's been back to Bendigo, now he's up to Queensland. He's got more frequent flyers than GK.
No, not quite, but he's up there.
No. Churchill's Choice we haven't mentioned either, which I think that is a threat. I don't understand the jockey booking. So I think it might drift, but look, I think it's dangerous. That was a bit of an icky race that came out of though. So look,
and he was in the right spot there too. He was in the Travelator up the straight. Yeah.
I'm just depending on what the market does here. I could potentially maybe have something small on it late to save stake, but this is the other one that I'm kind of looking at.
So he said Taylor Marshall to Sydney to ride Harlem Queen, and he's sending Kobe from Melbourne to Brisbane to ride
Churchill's
Choice. He's an interesting rider selector.
Yeah.
We've already had blues with the great Muttley this morning over it, but what can you do?
I'm just going to put my Twitter trainer hat back on because I've been recently licensed to be a trainer, and it's remarkable. And I'll just put my steward's hat on now, and he only got 3 weeks for that.
Yeah.
Taylor Marshall. Yeah. He probably should have got 6.
Yeah.
He's got to learn. Like that, it was probably one of the most dangerous rides I've seen for quite some time.
And I think it was one of the trainers. It was over the line of careless.
Yeah, it didn't even look. Hey,
negligent, whatever you want to call it.
Wow,
it was
really.
He was very lucky to get 3 weeks.
Really lucky to get 3 weeks, but then
I didn't realise J-Mac was.
Hey?
I didn't realise J-Mac got suspended in Hong Kong too. That's why there's a few weird riders. Bailey Wheeler on. What's he on? Coleman and Timmy on Emirates and whatever. These are all J-Mac pickups.
We'll get to
that.
We'll get to.
No,
Coleman
it's just weird riders everywhere. It didn't make sense, but now it makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah,
I don't think J-Mac was on Churchill's Choice. Let's just put it that way.
Do you reckon your man Muttley books the riders there? Was it?
Who knows?
Who does book the riders there at Nathan Dawes? That's
I hope he does it after 10 a.m. because before 10 a.m. he's so angry that he'd tell everyone to go away.
If anyone knows who books the riders, just put it in the comments of the YouTube show. Let's have a look at race number 8. It's the Victory Stakes, the Group 2. It's a 1,200 metre contest, and this is a beauty. Far Too Easy's a favourite here, $5.50. Hidden Well, $6. Coleman, $6. Jetterbeal, $7. Coal Crusher, $13. King Kappa, $15. Rothfire, $16. Freedom Rally, $17. Safrado, $17. Elmore Zillow, $17. Abounding, $18. Golden Mile, $21. Payline, $23. Such as the depth of the race, $26. Waterford Cannonball, and Libertad's well out the gate at $71. We're going to roll through a few replays here. Coleman is the first one, sitting off pace now, wide. He's got the nose roll, he's got the white and the maroon with the big baldy face coming to the outside. Walt, you're the Sydney man. This is
got
pretty nice.
A crossover and a nose roll, so they're really trying to keep that head down, aren't they?
Working.
Both his trials have been nearly identical. They're just ridden stone cold, so you'd imagine that's what they're going to do on Saturday, and definitely looks like he's going well and hit the line well, both trials. So it looks like he's just wants to teach him to settle at all costs.
Yeah. The next one here is Jetterbeal, and it's coming through the TJ Smith, and he trialled in between as well. So he's in the white, in the yellow and the black sleeves, just getting towards Sunshine in Paris, and didn't finish off too well. And then you obviously see Headwall, who went over and ran really well in the Quokka. It's sort of in behind it. Briasa, you got Jimmy Starr. So there's no doubting the form against this sort of level.
Yeah, it's definitely the A-grade form. It's just he's just all about whether he runs 1,200, and he's only got that short sprint, so he can sprint with any horse that we've got for 200 metres, and that inside draw that he's got is probably make or break. Needs a good ride. If he pinch exposed late, you could see him dashing, but if he if he gets exposed early, you can see late he's sometimes a little bit shy.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Lady Laguna's scratch, so it's going to Hawksbury, which is much to the light of GK. And I thought the best emergency of the weekend was our good old grey Elmore Zillow. It snuck into the field with Lady Laguna scratched. It's the grey, it's in the orange. It's probably the last winner that we backed, Walt. But
I've got a swelling here.
Yeah, It tends to find trouble. So I think the wide draw sort of suits. Damien Thornton's a big problem on the horse, but at $18 or $19, it's now got to run, and it's just a line finder, this horse. And maybe Kelly Schweider's figured the key to this horse and starting to space the runs out rather than just absolutely, run the wheels off it. I thought it was a bit of a knockout chance if they go a bit crazy up front, and if it has the back of a horse like Coleman or in and around that runner, I think she's got the accelerator to potentially go past him.
Yeah, untapped sort of horse. Yeah, I would have loved a low gate for it. That's probably it with Thornton. Just because, a little bit similar to what was our other horse, Jetta Beale. A little bit similar. It's got, but she's always dangerous because I don't think we've ever seen the bottom of her. That's for sure. She's never had a great prep or anything. So she's got a lot more upside.
It's interesting that Craig Williams has taken the ride on far too easy. Because I suggest that he's got bigger and better things with that horse, and maybe it goes to a Stradbroke, or he's sort of warming the seat for that race, or a bigger grand final.
I think most jockeys, given the choice of the two horses, and he's obviously got association with both, would go with far too easy. It's obviously had some pretty solid form around some very, very nice horses, and the betting suggests that it was the better option too. I think it's just a commercial decision, and maybe, she wasn't a certainty to get in the race too. Who knows? She's always sort of been thrown in weird races, so maybe this was an afterthought too for El Morzillo, but I wouldn't be reading too much into it, but I think he still would. I think he's probably made the most commercial choice, and that's what Craig's usually about. I know he's a very loyal man, but he's pretty smart with the way he picks them as well. Before we go to GK, how are you betting? Mate, I normally go last here. I like being the fullback, and you're trying to send me in. Okay, GK, you go first. No, I'll get out of the way because I don't have a big opinion. Coal Crusher I thought was ready to win, but I didn't like the low draw. It's just a little bit sticky. Far Too Easy looks like it's ready to go. $6 is short enough. Hidden Wealth, same sort of thing. Outside Gate looks like it's going to work, but it looks like it's going to run well. Coleman absolutely looks like it's ready to go, and I think Waller will be desperate for it to win. But it's just there's 5 chances. Like Bounding's dangerous and El Morzillo. So I don't really want to bet in the race, to be honest, but I think there's 5 or 6 that sort of go in the quaddie, and that was them for me. GK.
Look, I was keen on Lady Laguna and happily took the $13 yesterday. So I was thrilled this morning to find out that they've scratched it to run with 60 kilos on the goat track at Hawksbury. Anyway, look, I am backing Coleman and Jettabiel. I think there's Chiefs you can make or knocks you can have on each of the runners here. I can see 1200 Jettabiel is a bit of an issue. Coleman first up. Will they go back, Cole? I just think that they have potentially the sharpest turn of foot here, and I think they're probably going to get to a better spot than a horse like El Morzillo, who I think is probably going to be last. Look, happy to play those two. I think that they're both good chances here. Look, I'll probably have 5 or 6 in the quaddie. Yeah,
I was the only bet I had was probably El Morzillo early at the $19, hoping that it'd get a run. And I guess the dangerous horse is probably Coleman. I've been probably number 1 ticket holder of Coleman for quite some time, and I think we both got burnt there last prep. Maybe half a dozen times. So he doesn't have to improve much in my mind to be really dangerous. And I like the way that he's switching off for Waller. And if they've got him screwed down like Hannibal Lecter, maybe we'll just see an absolute weapon unleash with this big devastating turn of foot. So I don't know. With Bailey Wheeler, when he rides horses quiet and cold, I think he's okay. Well, there's a couple of exceptions to that, and he can find some traffic and have a bit of a mare. But
he's got balls. He can win any race. He can win on anything, which is what you like. I think you do get the odd average ride from him, but he's still not the polished article, but he's definitely got the ability to be a very, very good rider in time.
100%. And that was my only query with a horse like Jettabiel. It needs a soft run to really see out the 1200, as you saw in the TJ Smith. So Coleman is the most obvious for me, and then if El Morzillo can fluke away through the field, wind down your window because you'll hear me, because I'll get the lot.
It's nearly one of the old snag and fence and ride for luck is how I'd be telling them to ride it. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. You'll still have a horse left. That'd be the play for me. I don't think you want to be circling the field in this one.
I might send my old mate Kelly Schweider an email. I think I emailed him about 7 years ago, asking him to use better jockeys, and he still hasn't got back to me.
I can get that email in front of him if you'd like. There's no doubt.
So I've been a Twitter trainer for a while.
You have, unsuccessful, but you just keep plugging away, and that's all you can ask.
I'm a trier. Like a cockroach, hard to kill. Eagle Farm Race 9 is the next one. It's a 7 quality. It's a 1,300-metre event, and this one is pretty good. It's lean, but it's a mean race. Emirate is favourite, $2.30, drift from $1.95. Snack bar, $3.20 into $2.45.
Holy cow, what's going on there?
A punter, $9 in from $14, and then Sammy Conquers All, $14. You're getting $23 or better about the rest. A couple of scratchings, Heroic and Oriente. Let's have a look at these two Sydney siders. The first one is Emirate. It's the third back in the red. This is the Golden Rose. It's not a bad race.
Mate, how is this Emirate? It's got to be Emirates, right?
Emirate. Is it M?
You're
it's
not getting
Emirate.
into Dubai
Emirates
anytime.
has got an S, mate.
Huh? It's Emirate.
Emirate.
So hang on, it's Emirates is Emirates. Emirate is am I right?
Emirata.
Yeah, so it's A-grade form, but his first two starts are really good on, I think, wet track one time, and then straight to 1,300 he looked really good. And then last prep he chased the best horses sort of home a couple of times. That's probably the best way to put it. He was just a length or two below.
Snack bar, this is the grey and the Godolphin colours just skirting outside them. Bit negative early, but I love how he was through the line, the Gundawindi grey.
1,100 metres, and he mixed it with probably better horses than I thought he could last prep. And was not one paced, but he can maintain a high top. He doesn't really have a real sharp sprint, I wouldn't say. So 1,100 metres first up, doing what he did, I thought was, even though the grade's not super strong on paper and he looks like he levels out late, I think that's because he doesn't have that sharp turn of foot. I thought he went very, very, very well first up, over 1,100 metres under the circumstances.
GK, which way are you going to go with these two favourites, or have we missed one?
No, look, I think one of the two win. Look, I took some of the $4 snack bar yesterday and thought maybe I'd be able to potentially lean back on the other one late. I don't know. Look, I think I'll probably just ride the snack bar bet. I just don't know where they're going to get to with Emirate. I don't think the locals have the ability to beat these two.
Pretty similar. I thought whatever it was, 5-2 this morning, it was the only bet that I would, not unleash the fury on, because probably 11-13, one more run, but it's just going to be land right behind him. And I think up to 1,300 is a huge positive for his horse. Always right. Just couldn't. I think it should be favourite for sure. Snack bar. For sure. I wouldn't be surprised if Emirate won, obviously, but I think Snack Bar's the clear horse to beat. Sammy Conquers All was about the only horse I could find, but it's, Noel Makefield, horses don't seem to win. This horse seems to find trouble. It's well set up. It's strong, but it's weird. It's like the races. There's two divisions nearly. It's the top two have just got so much class on them. Maybe it was because the weights got compressed, and then Coleman didn't go here, and I don't know. Maybe it just weakened the race right up. But the weights were raised 7.5 kilos, and the top two look like they're thrown in.
Uncle Chris, Norman Coleman, and then weights raised.
No one knew, and that was the weird thing. J-Mac was booked for Emirate, but it had 53 or 54 or something. He couldn't have ridden it anyway, so it was super strange, the whole thing. But anyway, Uncle Chris. He's
a beauty. He can backflip, can't he, Chris? Change his mind. You're allowed to change your mind. It's a sign of intelligence.
Well, man, what is it? Blink 3 times if you don't need help, Chris. Blink.
You saying he's a hostage?
No. Well, I'm saying I didn't think I got enough love for the top 5 most powerful people in New South in racing in Australia, and I was like, well,
you weren't on the list.
No, well, there's only one. The other 4 were, except for I don't think they were all the same person. So it's just whatever. There's only one.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to leave that one alone. We'll continue. We're going to go to Hawksbury. I'm probably a bit like the next 4 on the list. Meow.
We're on the bottom 5.
I tell you what.
we're both in the bottom 5.
Mate, if I say any more, we probably might as well turn the lights off.
I did that a while ago.
You still with us, GK?
Staying well away from this conversation.
Okay, Hawksbury. Speaking of turning the lights off, we've got no replays, we've got no races, and there's no interest. Give us just something, and we're going to just tell us a horse that we should back.
What is it? I don't know. Is it what I call the name of the race? The Crown. Is it the 1,300 mares race? Belclair's the obvious on, but I don't think she likes the wet. So if the sort of 9 or 10 inside offers, it's probably going to be. There's 2 stalkers. What are they called? You should know. I told you what they were. City of Lights
and Written in Code.
What's the other one? Written in Code.
Written in
They're
Code.
both flying, both handle the wet, both should be coming down the outside. I thought they were sort of $10 or $11. That's the only bet I could potentially have to beat Belclair, but I'm very still scared of it.
Yeah, too much weight, I thought, Belclair. And I don't
It
think
sort of
she's going as
deserves it
good.
in that race, but on the heavy, it's a bit of an issue.
Not going as good.
And if it was the last race, Uncle Björn, then I'd just unload on it, but it's not the last race.
Yeah, if he gets her back from the last couple of starts, too good for me, but he's been doing it for a while. Racingwatch.com, you'll get more Walt stuff once the weather settles. So he's 24/7 New South Wales racing. So Telegram or Discord if you want the Hawksbury, because he's playing funny buggers early, which is good for the show, but not good for me because I try and organise a show and he gives me nothing.
That's more
Morphettville.
than you deserve, Nick.
Adelaide, we're going to go over to Rattle Raid, and as we do, Nico tips 2 winners, so we're going to put him in the paddock and keep him nice and fresh, and I'm going to steer the show here, and it's Morphettville Race 7. It's a Port Adelaide Guineas, and
2-year-old tips a nice horse off.
on display, where do you reckon they'll go with Legacy Band? Someone asked me.
Just keep winning wherever it goes. This time of year, there's not much around that could go with it. Anyway.
JJ Atkins?
I don't know.
Is it a
What was
Golden
that?
Rose?
Is that 1,200?
Could it go up to the Golden Rose? Not.
Freshen it up?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah,
Nice
you think
horse.
he would. It's
Yeah.
cold, isn't it?
Anyway, back to Adelaide. Let's talk Adelaide. Port Adelaide Guineas on display has been 6 into 340 after a luckless race last week over the mile. Harumph. Well, how do you say this?
What was this? Was it a nursery rhyme or something?
Harumph,
I
harumph.
remember that. Yeah, it's like something. I can't remember.
I always hate these names because you can't search it up in the database. It's a real pain to try and find the horse and do the replays. Somewhere is the next one at $6. Sneaky Sunrise $7. Didn't miss many 10, and then Ganacho 12. Estinay $14. Teardrop rotation $23. Let's have a look at 3 replays here. On display is the first one. It's the filly here in the first light colours, which is blue and yellow. It's sitting midfield, and it just gets locked up here, and Lotties is the winner of the race, which was pretty impressive, but you could make a case and say this horse should have won on display, but just absolutely swinging off it, no luck.
Probably should have won, but you think if they run the race 10 times, there might be 10 different winners. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's Private Legacy not running into a place for me at big odds, which I was angry about, but even then, when she sort of got clear, she wasn't necessarily savage in line, so I was inclined to take it on, especially given I've missed the 6 and into now 340. So I want to take it on. Here's Harumph, and just like the way that it sort of settled on speed and just put him away. And the look of this horse stepping from 1,400 meters to a mile. Looks pretty good here, and I just like the fact that it can do it at both ends. Puts itself in the race and then just gives that big kick. I think it's the horse that's going to take some beating, Harumph, and I'd probably have it favourite instead of 380 Harumph. I'd be having it around sort of the $2.50 mark, and then on display I'd be zipping it back out to 5 or 6, whatever the bookies open up early. And I thought the danger is this horse Somewhere, and I think DK and I mentioned this horse last time, and it's in the white and the blue in the Jerry Ryan colours in the green sleeves, and it was a real leaderish day here at Bendigo. And then you got Rooter getting, I guess, the dream run out in front, and then Wonder Boy, who's now going to be up in Queensland. The key to this Somewhere, I thought Somewhere was going to drop right out of that, given he was sort of first up, but only getting beaten sort of 3.5, 4 lengths. I thought it was an okay pipe opener for a race like this. You got Zara coming on now. And second up last time, he was really unlucky in the Sandown Guineas. The only little query they have around this horse Somewhere is he may just sort of not like the good surface. So just be careful how dry this track is. But this horse has got exceptional talent. I love the booking of Mark Zara, and I just love the way he sort of stuck on, whereas those other horses were 3rd and 4th up and really deep into the prep. So he was entitled to be pretty vulnerable late, I would have thought Somewhere. But he's a horse going places if his feet can appreciate or can get through that drying surface. But he was the X Factor horse, but I think the 380 Harumph seems slightly over the odds for mine.
Yeah, and like you say, he rolled forward. He'll be outside leader. He was in a slow run race first start, didn't look great, and then a better sort of tempo. He was still up rolling forward. He looked better, didn't he, second start? And I think he'll definitely the one to run down. He's the only horse you know where he's going to be. Even Somewhere, gate 1 could be sort of 3-4 back the fence, and in strife, or if Sarah just box eats it and pops it out like you can do, it'll make you look like a clown. But I think you found the right starting point around front. And I thought this horse didn't miss many. He's just got something. It's just weird. The other day it was fought off and was gone, and then through the line it looked in another 50 metres going to come back and win. And a similar thing first up, where it sort of just never looked like it got going. So it's a horse I could see improving. And Archie's very dangerous. Obviously, he's got somewhere as well. But, I think it's the dangerous one, and you might get a little bit better than $10.
Did I do enough to get you to have a look at this race, GK, or no interest?
Absolutely not. I looked at this for about 2 minutes and just went, no. Don't want anything to do with this.
You might say the same about the next race, but we'll go forward anyway. It's race 8. It's the Group 1 SA Derby over 2,500 metres. It's the Thomas Farms, and Statuario is the favourite, $3.40 in from $3.90. American Wolf dropping back from 2,800 to 2,500. M Zara goes on, $7.50. Lavalier is $7.50. Gold Rush Guru, $10. Surprised they're still going on with this horse. Dubai Focus, $13. Scalante is $14. Global Eclipse, $15. Snoopy Now, $16. Saint Emilion, $17. And Confetti Garden from the Derby, $18. And then Politely Done is the next one at $18, who had the second behind Statuario, the favourite. 2 replays here. We've got the local form, which is the chairman's last start, and you got Saint Emilion, you've got Gold Rush Guru, Snoopy Now's in the race, and Lavalier. They just went super slow here, and I just don't think it's much of a guide, because Athanatos isn't a horse that I thought would run 2,000 metres, and I thought Jamie gave this Godolphin runner a really sore back. It didn't help that it took good odds to sort of try and find out, but he was the only one sort of smashing the line late, I would have thought. And I just don't know that form is good enough against the Statuario form. I thought the race at Caulfield, when Statuario won, I just think this grey horse, has just got a bit more of a turn of foot. You can see him in the red and green sort of South Sydney Rabbitohs colours, the big grey horse here, and he just could put a couple of lengths on this field, and you can see Politely Done sort of edging off and slowly going through his gears. And yeah, $17 I could probably save on a horse like that. But old potato, Johnny Allen, he gets barrier 3 with this grey horse, and I can just see the same thing unfolding. And he was pretty soft on him late. He sort of eased up that last sort of 25 metres. Whether the horse had enough, I don't think so. But I think he showed enough zip, that being his sort of 4th start, that I think he's going to run 2,500. And from barrier 3, Allen will put him asleep. And I think he just needs to get a little bit of galloping room, and I think he can dash up for 200 and put these away, because some of these horses are just so poorly set up, won't run to 2,500, and there's just not many dangers. Like American Wolf's going 2,800 back to 2,500, so a fair bit of speed is going to be sucked out of its legs. Jamie probably should lead on this Lavalier, but sometimes in these SA derbies, you see some crazy stuff with 100-to-1 chances just being put into the race and becoming real big traffic hurdles. So I think they're the horses you work around. Statuario, Lavalier, and Politely Done is a bit of a knockout, but I think the favourite, the grey, it's John Allen's race to lose. Well,
yeah, I just don't think it'll run the trip. That's my issue. But because but there's so many of these lead-ups that have been run at Messi, either fast or slow. That one was extremely slow. Yeah, if it was 2,000, I think. Even 1,800, you'd just be saying nearly game over, because a lot of them are whackers, but that's my worry. If it runs the 2,500 or 2,400, whatever it is, it'll be very, very hard to stop. I think Gold Rush Guru's dead. I thought this Golden Eclipse was worth looking at. Very lightly raced, ran a maiden to a short. Was it a rump form? Whatever ran second, it ran against Cursed or something, and Cursed came out and beat it narrowly, and they gapped the rest, and then it come out and won a terrible race by 10. But it just looks like it's got a sense of timing. I struggle to find Mick Price's stable a lot of the time, and it's $14 roll forward. It's just a bit of left field, because I just kept going round and round in circles. And I actually thought that maybe that American Wolf form might be all right, just because it could be last man standing. I doubt that they go along slow here. Surely something puts some speed into the race, and if not, hopefully it's Global Eclipse that's up front controlling it, and American Wolf might just outwhack them if it comes to that. But Yeah, it's a toss of the coin. Maybe, I don't know, what price will Statuario start? I don't know. But, sort of around $4, something like that's probably fair because everything you say is correct. If it runs the trip, it should get the soft run and do a Jetterbill and sprint, and whether it can hold them off or not, you'll find out.
Yeah, Global Eclipse still needs one more scratching to get into the field, so it's...
I'll just head down there and take one out.
Do the old Fletch trick, just roll a couple of marbles down.
Definitely won't be. It's definitely not worth doing anything like that. It's a left field option in a very tough race.
Yeah, it's Big Price has had some success in the race. I think he won it with Tarzino. GK, this is a funny little puzzle.
Oh, it's horrendous. Look, if I was betting, it would be probably something small each way, politely done. I just thought, had got into a bit of a sticky position there last start, and it just wasn't the right race shape for it. And if there's any tempo injected into this race, I think it might be able to show, probably what its strength is, which is probably endurance. I just don't think it has that turn of foot, against a horse like the favourite. So if there's a little bit more tempo, that might suit it. Probably something small, 1x3 or something. And I also, the other one I looked at was the one down the bottom, that Global Eclipse, if it made the field. Just, DF, sense of timing, go to the front, maybe on an upward spiral. But this isn't a race that I can get excited about.
Yeah,
I thought State of Million was going to make a horse too. It's probably been a little bit disappointing, but it's probably the other one out to this trip that could do something, and it's 20-1.
Yeah, it just looked a run behind last time, and I had a really good look at it, but I just didn't do enough late.
Didn't do enough to have it, but it's one that'll annoy you if it lobs at 20s.
Yeah, it's
probably goes in the quaddie.
Yeah,
this is a Group 1, isn't it?
Apparently. Yeah.
We had the Group 1 sprint last week, my God.
Yeah, well, hopefully they do put a bit of tempo into it, and then I can make a case for politely done at each way price, and they're both really good runners that'll run decent races at good prices. Global Eclipse if you can get into the field, and just the suck run of Statuario. If you do want to back the favourite, I think you'll give a sight and a little bit different to Walt. I've always
covered at the 600 metre mark.
Yeah, I think I took hundreds in the Guineas, this Statuario, so he's been on my radar for a really long time, and he's just got a little bit of X factor, which is a couple of these others I just don't think they have. Like, he's got a bit of the Chanois form, but I guess him and Politely Done seem to be running alongside each other a lot, so easy way to play the race if you get that far. GK, just to summarise, your best for Saturday?
I'd say my best on Saturday at Eagle Farm is Floozy. I think it's going to be super hard to beat. And then there's just some good bracket bets in the later races. But Floozy's the one.
Walt, what's your best?
Straight to the snack bar, mate, where I like to be all the times. Last night I had my 8 plates of sushi at 10 Bin Bowling. Snack bar for me.
Have you had a look at race 10 Hawksbury, Moby Dick's race?
No.
Yeah, that could be my best. I just need to get a little bit deeper into it. I thought Chad gave it 0 last time, and he just bomb wet tracker.
I laughed. They said they missed out on J-Mac on that horse in the last photograph yesterday, and they got J-Mac Chad. I reckon it's about 1 in 23. You get J-Mac Chad, and he looked like J-Mac on it yesterday. He's a tough one to catch, old Chadley.
Too good. All right, we'll be back next week. Hopefully we've found you a couple of winners up at Eagle Farm, and we'll pray that the weather holds off and the tracks race perfectly for us, which is all we want. And hopefully we get a bit of luck with a couple of good rides. But we'll see you next week.